Hey guys, what's up? So now that I am taking a break from any sort of phalloplasty surgery, it's time for some new content. So I decided to give something else a try here, trying to venture out because I'm really actually tired of talking about it. So I had something to get off my chest personally, and I kind of thought maybe I would do this type of video once a week, and it's a new series perhaps. I'm going to call it damage control for now, because I'm kind of I want to take articles or videos or whatever from the left and the right, any sort of like radical viewpoint, and kind of fact check it and kind of reel it in a little bit, because sometimes those radical sides just kind of like cycle each other's insanity. So I wanted to see if I could, bring some actual sanity into the conversation. I don't represent the LGBTQ community as a whole. I'm only one person. This is only my opinion and viewpoint, so disclaimer on that. But yeah, I don't give my opinion much, but I figure why not? Let's give this a try. Giving opinions is very scary, because you're no longer people tend to hate you if they disagree with you. That is not my particular way of functioning in this world, but that isn't the way that everyone functions in this world. I feel like we can disagree and then still be friends, and but anyways, despite that, I'm going to get into where I'm starting today. So I'm starting with none other than Activist Mommy, just because, I want to start out easy.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth, and I'm the Activist Mommy. Well, today we're going to be talking about gender insanity.
She basically just takes other articles and puts her own little pissy ways of, she exaggerates, and it's almost like you feel her yelling through her writing, which is not generally the writing that I enjoy. But let's get on this. So she made this article, biological male Jessica Yaniv misses pool party because he forgot his tampons. Then she goes on to tell about how Jessica Yaniv, so a little background on Jessica Yaniv if you do not have any yet. The trans community as a whole, I'm pretty sure at this point, has declared their dislike for Jessica, and how they don't represent the trans community, at least not on my end. Their behavior at this point is insanity. So they've had some questionable things going on with underage girls, like getting businesses shut down for them not waxing their balls. If you want to know more information, I will actually lead you to Blair White's channel, where she talks about it in more in depth. She's also debated her live.
It's not.
So why do you think your behavior is okay?
Because basically, what did I do wrong here?
You are a predator. You put women out of business who don't want to touch your dick. You message children inappropriate messages, and you make trans people look terrible. Like I said, your existence is measured only by the harm in which you do to everyone around you. And that's a problem.
And all that sorts of fun stuff. I'm not going to go into the very depths of it all, but basically, Jessica Yaniv has some very questionable intentions, and I do not like her. And let's just go from there. But also, to clarify, yes, I do think that Jessica Yaniv is a pedophile. I am not about that. Pedophiles are never going to be part of the LGBTQ community. Anyone who says otherwise, check yourself. So Activist Mommy goes on to tell about the insanity of Jessica Yaniv claiming that they started their period and they didn't have tampons for the pool. Yes, okay. And the thing that I want to point out was the clip that she actually took some from other article, which she does a lot, is this one from apparently PJ Media's John Ellis, that says, "This is absurd, right? We can all see that, right? A man refusing to get in a pool because his period started and he forgot his tampons is like a rejected Monty Python sketch acted out in a maze of funhouse mirrors. And yet, you and I know that if you share this article criticizing Jessica Yaniv, your leftist family and friends will cluck their tongues at you at best. At worst, they'll openly brand you as hateful and transphobe. They'll report you to the thought police, and you'll run the risk of being banned from social media for daring to question the validity of a man claiming that he can't go swimming because he forgot his tampons. I used to believe that the sexual revolution would move so far into the absurd that the left would wake up and say, okay, that's enough. Now, though I'm no longer sure that that's going to happen, if Jessica Yaniv's nonsense becomes part of the leftist orthodoxy, our society is already finished. So, first of all, that is very, very obviously incorrect. The trans community has already come out multiple times. Multiple people have come out against Jessica Yaniv. I'm pretty sure there's no one really left that supports Jessica Yaniv that I'm aware of. I don't even know who this person was, honestly, up until now, where people have, denounced any sort of like affiliation with them. We do not want this to be the image of the trans community. And so basically fact checked here is that Activist Mommy seems to think that we're still okay with shitty behavior, even just because they're part of the trans community. And that is far from true. I think that we would be doing ourselves a disservice if we did not call out people of our community in this instance, for sure. So yeah, fact checked. Nobody is supporting Jessica Yaniv in the trans community. Activist Mommy is just looking for clicks. She's just looking for attention, and she's looking for negativity about the LGBT community as usual. So Activist Mommy, get a grip. Find some new topics to talk about. And yeah, that's all I have to say. So moving on to the news from the other side of the spectrum, the LGBTQ community, or at least part of it. The latest there is that there are LGBTQ YouTubers that are suing YouTube. They are claiming that YouTube specifically discriminates against the LGBTQ community by demonetizing videos based on words or content that is in the videos. And so I do have to say that I don't think that this is specific to the LGBT community as an LGBTQ. I hate that. It's so long. Okay, so as a YouTuber who tends to fall into the category of LGBTQ content, I have to say that there was a specific time that it was really, really hard to get things monetized. It was right when they were introducing their new machine-generated demonetization, which would kind of look at keywords and thumbnails, and that's still the case, but it was learning, and it took a while for it to learn. At the time that this was introduced into YouTube, I was making phalloplasty videos, and a lot, if not all, of my phalloplasty videos were being demonetized, at least at first, until they could manually review them just by including phalloplasty or anything like that within the tags. Since then, the system has learned, thankfully. I've created a ton of phalloplasty videos with phalloplasty in the title and in the tags multiple times, and it's been monetized, luckily. And there's only a few that have been demonetized, and anytime something is demonetized, it is because there's sexual content. So anytime I talk about the implant of phalloplasty, that gets demonetized. Anytime sometimes my underwear review videos get demonetized because it's a little too revealing. So there's certain videos that are understandably demonetized. I don't feel like I've been discriminated against. One other odd video that was demonetized was about Mario Lopez, and if he was transphobic. I kind of still don't get that one. It might have been because I cursed once, but I've cursed before, I don't know. But basically, I think there's a lot of people on YouTube platform right now that are experiencing some issues with demonetization, and it's kind of a shit show at times, but I don't feel like it is specific to the LGBT LGBTQ community. So there's a certain mix of feelings here. There's a certain amount of cringe. I feel like some of the creators that are complaining about being demonetized, it's a little bit kind of in the sense where some of my implant videos that talk about sex get demonetized. If they're sexual in nature, you're gonna get demonetized. And there's, you know, I feel like a bit of a reason there. It's kind of like a given. You know, there's a lot, like, it's, think about it in a sense of what is allowed on TV sometimes, like what is not allowed on TV. Certain, you know, sexual content, and like, so it kind of works in the same way, except for now it's on YouTube. And yeah, so it's I feel a little cringy about it because people always hop on to the LGBT community about wanting special treatment, just being so sensitive, and I get a little bit cringy about the situation. I am unsure about the current state of suing YouTube and their specific reasonings for doing so. You know, I think too the machine learns different channels' content, because the more that I uploaded phalloplasty videos, the less they got demonetized, and the less that basically any video would immediately be demonetized. But I feel like if you're a channel who does a lot of sexual content very often, then the machine almost recognizes that and maybe has a little bit of a bias from the get-go. So it might not be necessarily like an LGBT discrimination, but maybe sort of like sexual content bias, where it's trying to basically protect from the get-go, thinking that this creator creates a lot of sexual content, you might be more likely to be being demonetized, things like that. I think I even remember back in the day when things were rough and everything was getting demonetized. Even Casey Neistat was having issues with things getting demonetized, and he's like one of the most family-friendly vloggers out there. So everyone has had issues at some point. I've noticed it actually getting better. So I'm wondering why now. Yeah, I think also I've noticed little tiny things where if I even put emojis in my thumbnails, then it'll get demonetized. It doesn't matter what emoji, it doesn't matter if it's an eggplant or a happy face or a sad face. That's when things will get demonetized. So there's something like with the machine itself. I think maybe if it's sort of like any sort of loud thumbnail or contrasty thumbnail, if your channel is not like, I don't use a lot of emojis or bright contrasty colors in my thumbnails. So when I do, I feel like maybe that triggers something. I don't understand the system that they have. I don't understand this automatic like or machine sort of thing that sorts things out for them, but I feel like there's some sort of learning process per channel. Maybe I'm completely off base. But yeah, so that is it. This is this video. Welcome to damage control. I promise it's gonna get better. This is my first time doing anything like this. But practice makes perfect. But if you hate this video, let me know. If you like it, let me know. Leave a comment, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to, and I will make sure to do more of these in the future. So yeah, that's it guys. Peace out. I will see you next time.